We're here in Victoria at the rally to support the National Truckers Convoy that arrived in Ottawa earlier today, surrounded by hundreds and thousands of people who are fed up and have had enough and want to get life back to normal. They're standing up against these regressive mandates that have created two sets of citizens in this country that have sowed so much division and have torn people apart, and they just want to go back to normal and get their constitutional rights back. There's so much positivity, there's so much energy. This isn't what you'd see in the media. If you look around, there's so many people. We're going to go talk to them, and it just really is great to see, and it really encapsulates what it's all about to be Canadian.
I'm here to fight for freedom and to support the truckers that are in Ottawa today.
Okay, and I tell you got an accent. You mentioned that you're from England.
Yeah.
England just recently lifted all of their COVID restrictions. Can you talk about the difference in mentality of how they're...
It's been quite hardcore from the beginning in England, like a lot of protesting. It's really nice to see that Canada's finally, stepping up and actually leading the way worldwide, I think. Everyone's got their eyes on Canada, which is really cool.
I haven't taken a long weekend off in 2 years. I've been working non-stop to make sure there's food on the shelves. We need to all come together. It's the truckers that are leading the way, not just here in Canada, but around the globe. We're on the right side of history. We're here to create change. Canadians need to stand up, and we need to fight for our freedom. We're not physically angry fighting. We're doing this for all generations.
What would you like to say?
I want the mandate to end. And the vaccine so I can play hockey.
And what do you think about Justin Trudeau?
I don't like him.
Not a fan?
No.
No? And you want to play hockey, you said? Are you a hockey fan? What's your favorite team?
Washington Capitals.
Washington Capitals?
Or Toronto.
Or Toronto.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's nice to see so many people. It's definitely not just a fringe minority, it's a world movement now, and people just got to stand up and do what's right.
Yeah.
So.
Do you feel that there's some momentum with the truckers convoy going to Ottawa and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. Well, this is huge too, just for the island. There's people still stuck between Ladysmith and Duncan, and it's still rolling in. So there's a lot of support, and it's nice to see.
Over the past almost 2 years now, from my perspective, the judiciary has kind of been missing in action. I'm not even sure what's going on. What's your take on everything?
I think one of the problems we got is that because there were two lower court decisions, that is all over for the courts. It's not. That's why I filed a lawsuit this week. It's not over. We're in the second period, if you want to use a hockey analogy. I'm hopeful that the judiciary will listen to what's going on all over the country these days, number one. Number two, that they recognize that what the lower courts have ruled is unconstitutional. It cannot stand muster. And so that's what I'm arguing, that there's a long ways to go yet before the judicial situation is over. But there's no question, as we sit here right today, all of the 14 governments of Canada, through their various mandates, are violating the provisions of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which is part of the Constitution.
Everybody here is more or less united. You got a broad spectrum of people, but they're all here for one thing, and that's anti-mandates. Everybody's here to support the cause of freedom. Whether you choose to be vaccinated or not, whether you choose to follow whatever, it's about having personal freedom.
Are you optimistic that we're on the precipice of something right here, that this could be, things are changing, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, people are starting to wake up?
Yeah, you know what, I think the big thing about today is that it's not that maybe things will change and maybe they won't, but I think it's about people being aware, having an awareness about what's going on, having an awareness of what their rights actually are and what they stand for and what they mean. I think we've forgotten what rights are and how we define them.
There's so much positivity here, there's so much energy in the air, and one thing that you won't see in the media is there's people here from across the political spectrum, left, right, people that have different views, vaccinated, unvaccinated, but everyone here wants to get back to normal, wants to end those two tiers of citizenship and get their constitutional rights back. And one thing that's so apparent is the caricature of the protests and the rallies that the media's tried to paint. It's literally the polar opposite. There's love in the air. Obviously it's peaceful. People are honking and having a good time. And it just shows that I think we are on the precipice of things starting to change in Canada, and maybe we'll start to follow the leads of other countries like Denmark, like the Netherlands, and like England, and get people back to living their lives.